I am a little bit late in reviewing this film, but at last I'm now reviewing Life of Pi, and I only sort of knew about this film coming out, like say about a couple of weeks ago, and from what I saw from the trailer, looked pretty good. But is it one of those sort of films that looks good, but isn't really that good? And the story is basically, well, actually it's a bit kind of like a story like this sort of guy meets this Pi, like, and he hears like this, that Pi has a story to tell, that sort of changed his life sort of forever, and that. So they tell the story. What it is when he was young, his family had to sort of move out and had to sell the sort of animals. They were going to Canada, and upon the ship they get kind of shipwrecked. He only survives, and on this boat, you know, lives a couple of hours, but also lives this tiger, and it's all about the sort of the journey with this tiger, and also trying to sort of overcome, like trying to be it's sort of like oh, what's that? Like eye to eye kind of thing. Oh, the word's not coming. It's there. I know what it is. But it's that word, right? You probably know what I'm talking about. But you know, equal. You know, it's equal kind of thing. Yeah, took me forever. So yeah, and then so that's just basically the gist of the story. I will say this though, Ang Lee, right? He has made one good looking, beautiful film. Like, this film is so gorgeous. Like, you know, everything, like, you see like the zoo, you see like the, you know, the kind of like the atmosphere of India, you know, the sort of the shipwreck, you know, when the ship sort of sinks, you see the kind of like all that stuff, and then like, and then you just see that when Pi and the tiger, which I forgot to mention is also named Richard Parker, by the way. A bit confused. It kind of explains in the whole film anyway. You see like some beautiful scenes with, you know, when on this boat, and yes, the film is just so beautiful. It's probably kind of like one of the best looking films of the year, but that is where it kind of stops. Now, the reason why this stops is for several reasons. This film didn't intrigue me because there wasn't really anyone really big that I knew except for Ang Lee. But the last time I heard about a film that Ang Lee was doing, it was the Hulk movie, right? That's quite far back. So I wasn't really kind of that looking forward, because yeah, he did an alright job with the Hulk, but it wasn't really, it was more of an artsy Hulk rather than the Hulk that we got in a couple of years later, you know, after that one. So that was kind of one of it, but the other thing is, there's nothing that practically happens. The problem, I think, is they gave away too much on the sort of trailer, where it's actually a story and not kind of like from start to beginning, because I think that would have been a good wee sort of thing they could have kept quiet. But the thing is, the guy who tells the story, he drags on too much. Like, he doesn't get to the point until later on. It was quite annoying, and then after kind of like the whole thing, it just, nothing kind of really happens. Like, nothing really big happens. Like, some things happen that you were expecting to happen, and then just things that, you know, maybe come out of nowhere. It's just one of those films that you're just going to be left with, like, you will be kind of like bored with it, and I think only really movie buffs will probably appreciate this more. I would never really say I'm a movie buff. I am a movie fan, but it really is quite a boring film. And the last 20 to 10 minutes, I'd say, before like credits, really changes your mind about the whole film, because the older Pi says something to this other Pi, but it's only something. Don't want to give away spoilers or whatnot, but it does change your whole view of the whole film entirely, and then that way you're kind of left, yeah. Did that, you know, is that really what he said and whatnot? So, it's a good film, don't get me wrong, it's a good film. I just don't think I appreciate it more than maybe some people will. And I think with that, right, I think I'm really going to give this like a 6 out of 10. Like, the story was like interesting enough to a point, but it just did get really boring. And I think the visuals and the looks of the film probably did save it quite a bit. And the 3D was not really that bad. Is it for everyone? No, I just don't think. I think if you're like a big sort of action buff kind of guy, you are not going to like this film. If you're like of just a casual summer goer, you're not really going to like this film either. It's really for films that, for people. This film's really made for people who really love their movies. But I'm just sadly not one of them, I'm afraid.